I've kind of today came to the conclusion that, well, these are inspirational speakers, they're public speakers. And you can't just have 6 public speakers, you need 5 public speakers and an example. You need a cautionary tale, and that's what I am. I have I don't know. It's very odd. I feel like sometimes I call myself the homosexual Forrest Gump because I have done some amazing things in my life. I have done some amazing things, and I'm not quite sure if how they happened. Forrest Gump they just kind of came to him. That feels like me. That sometimes feels like my life. Sometimes. An example is I went to Mount Allison University, the #1 small university in Canada, 40 years running, no big deal. However, in my last year of university, it's a small university. We had our valedictorian was a keynote speaker. It was not due to marks or anything. And one day, by my 4th year, after the bullying and and whatnot, and personal experience, I was walking one day when the valedictory nominations were happening, and I'm like this, I have friends in almost every group. I have friends in every single sect, every single clique. I wonder if it's enough to be valedictorian. I didn't really have a huge yen to be valedictorian, but I was just very curious about it. It was like a social experiment. So I ran, and I got nominated, and I ran against 5 amazing young women, quite a few of them my friends who were so much more, motivated and hardworking than me. So I got nominated. I was tickled pink. Well, there you go. Question answered. And then all of a sudden I went down to 3. No, then it got down to 3 young women and me. Then it got down to 2 young women and me. And I was like, there's no way. Obviously, they're going to win. So just as a little tangent in there, at this point of my degree, I was, in my last year of my degree, I was majoring in French. And on my last year, I decided to take Spanish, first year Spanish and first year anthro, first year sociology, so I wouldn't have to go to the courses, which I didn't. So at this point, I'm failing Spanish and I'm failing sociology, and I'm starting to consider maybe I'll have to stay here another year. So I get home to my apartment and I get this call. I'm like, hello? Hey, Shawn, it's the student council. I'm like, oh yeah, would you guys need help with something, like a volunteer? No, call your parents. You're the next 1995 Mount Allison University valedictorian. And I went like this. Thank you. And I literally went like this. I could stop laughing. I'm like, I'm failing. I'll be the first valedictorian not to do a speech, not to graduate. Oh my God. And my roommate comes home, and she walks in, and she could tell immediately, what's wrong with you? I'm like this. I'm valedictorian. And she went like this. I know, she's like, you're failing Spanish. I know. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Anyway, I coerced and worked hard at these 2 courses. I graduated. I did the speech. Lord. But so I tend to do really big things and then do screw up really big. So that was a screw up and a good thing. I don't know, a recent I don't know. And then in terms of me being up here, I'm blessed with so many amazing friends, and I found out this past 6 months that I have more than I even thought possible. But this is an example of how I can work out why I'm up here. So I was 25, living in Toronto for my first time with some close friends from university, Sherry and Andrea. And I come home one day, and they're like, Shawn, we were talking about you last night. I'm like, oh, yeah. And they were like, yeah, we were sitting there going, oh, isn't Shawn wise? Shawn is so wise. He gives the best advice. And I was like, what? What are you two talking about? You're absolutely crazy. Wise. No, Shawn, you are. I'm like, I don't get it. And I to this day, sometimes I care about people genuinely. I give them, my honest opinion. I am told, oh, your advice. Oh, I'm like this. I'm like, and so I've finally accumulated all that to this reply. Well, those who can't teach. There you go. So the past 6 months have been quite a ride for me. I had a great job at the Woolly Pub, and I screwed up. I got in some serious trouble. And they were willing to help me out, and they did. And I flew right for about a year, and I screwed up again. And it's hard when you have these big screw-ups. And it's just it's a theme of my life. And so then I was flying right again and trying to fix it. And then one day it's really hard to stick up for yourself when you're a screw-up. It's for this long of a time. I tend not to stand up for myself in any situation, even small. Like if someone's like, oh, that wall is white. I'm like this. I don't know. I think it's black, but we can discuss it. Like I like to be as open-minded and charitable and have as much empathy as I can. But this one day, I just wasn't treated quite well. And it wasn't a huge deal, but I said to myself, if you don't stick up for yourself in this moment, maybe it's important, because then maybe you'll stick up for yourself in your life and try to do better. So I stuck up for myself and I quit my job. And thank you, yes, thank you. And then I was unemployed for 6 months. And part of that was a decision to try to get funding from the Second Career Program, which I did get, which I'm currently trying to screw up, just to be clear. I've already spent some of that money I wasn't supposed to spend on something. I'm like, oh, well, I'll fix that later. Truly, I'm just the worst. But it was the 6 months. Honestly, my instinct to say, oh, it wasn't easy. It was. Looking back now, those 6 months were easy, because of the amazing people in my life, the amazing community, like friends I didn't know I had. My closest friends bought me groceries every time they came to visit. But then a friend who, I just knew because I had her daughter sing in a show, bought me surprise groceries. I had a friend help me with rent in a very large way. And it's just, I got to the point where I was, when I didn't say this to them because I believe in being gracious, because it's rude not to be gracious. But whenever they would not see me, I'm like this, God, stop. I'm not worth it. I'm not this good. I'm not this word. You have to stop, because I don't know if it's an innate fear that I'm going to, start to believe the hype kind of thing. But it's just, I live my life currently being told I'm the best. I hear that all the time. And then thank you so much. And I'm also the worst. And I actually said it once on Facebook to a really good friend, Michelle, and she said, well, you're like Buddha. That's the embodiment of Buddha. He's both things. I'm like, well, I do have a tummy. Great. But anyway, I'm just here to say that if you screw up, it sucks, and feel those feelings, but I am here living proof that don't give up. I mean, I screw up so often, even in minor ways every day, and I'm so frustrated with myself and exhausted, and I'm like this. Well, what will make it worse is if I don't keep trying and don't try to better it. I just saw a quote from a TV show I saw recently that was, I thought, quite lovely. It said, life inevitably falls apart. The art in life is how we put it back together. And I am a damn good artist.